Look, there's some areas of life where we probably shouldn't let AI touch too much, and I think reading books is one of the most important ones there. Yeah, AI can summarize an entire book for us if we really wanted to, but that defeats the entire purpose of reading. In today's video, I want to show you a few ways I've been using AI to modernize my approach to taking notes while I read. Now, this is a very fine line between being lazy and having AI do all the work for you, or instead having the integrity to actually do the work yourself while still using these tools to our benefit. Now, throughout this video, I'll be showing you a few different apps and tools that really do help me when it comes to taking notes while I read, but one app in particular that I think is the linchpin of my entire system is called Readwise. I've been talking about Readwise for years now, especially in my previous videos, and I'll show you more in this video how I use the AI features to help me read, but if you want to try Readwise completely for free, I have an extended free trial link down below that'll give you 2 months to try the app out, no strings attached, just to see if you like it. Now, I promise I am not sponsored by Readwise or any other app or tool that I mentioned in this video for that matter, but I do have affiliate links down below that do support my channel if you're interested. Now, to really take advantage of AI when it comes to book notes, the very first step is to get all your notes into a digital format. And to be even more specific, the actual goal is to consolidate all your notes, highlights, and annotations into one central repository, and that is why I use Readwise. The easiest way you can do this is by taking notes on a Kindle or a Kobo, but if you prefer to use physical books, there are actually a few methods you can still use to get full advantage of AI. One of my most recent favorite ways of taking notes is actually by using my voice. There's an app out there called Voice Notes, which I've been using quite a bit. Again, link down below for that specific app. You can also just use the free Voice Memos app on your phone if you prefer, but taking notes with your voice is a great way to get the best of both worlds. The way it works is actually really simple. After you finish reading a chapter or a specific section of your book, take out your phone, open up the Voice Notes app, and record a bit of a voice note to yourself. Talk about what you learned, talk about what you read about, and just document the things you want to remember. I know this may sound a bit ridiculous just talking to yourself about random things you're learning about in books, but don't knock it until you try it. I've actually been using the Voice Notes app now for way more than just reading books, especially after a long day. For example, if I'm going to class and I have a bunch of thoughts in my head of things I learned about or interactions I've had with my professors or classmates, I open up the Voice Notes app while I'm driving home and just talk to myself almost like a voice note journal entry about all the things that happened. This has been a really wonderful way to bring extra clarity to my days. I haven't been able to capture these kinds of thoughts before, but now with Voice Notes, I have way more flexibility of how I can capture these things. Another great use case for Voice Notes is for audiobooks. Traditionally, taking notes while listening to an audiobook is also very challenging, but now after you listen to a chapter, open up the Voice Notes app and just talk out what you learned about and take notes that way. Now, what makes the Voice Notes app really special is that it has built-in AI to transcribe all your notes into digital text. In recent months especially, using AI to transcribe your voice notes has become so good. This used to suck in the past, but now with AI, it actually does a really great job of translating all the things you're saying into actual words in digital text. And the one feature about voice notes I love specifically is that it has a direct integration with Readwise, so all my voice notes automatically get imported directly into my Readwise library. Now, if this whole concept of taking notes with your voice does not sound too appealing to you, that is okay. If you prefer to take notes the old-fashioned way with pen and paper or highlighting in your book directly, there is still a good method for that too. If you download the Readwise app on your phone, you can actually just snap pictures of your book with the highlights that you've taken with a physical highlighter, and it'll actually just transcribe those specific highlights into a digital format and put them in your library. Another way you can go about this is by taking notes on a digital notebook like a Kindle Scribe, for example, or Remarkable, and then having those devices digitize all your notes for you, which is a great way to get best of both worlds once again. Or if you really wanted to, just take regular notes on pen and paper and take a picture with your smartphone and just add those to ChatGPT or something and transcribe them that way. As you can see, there are so many different ways you can use AI to help you with your notes here. Again, the goal is simply to get all your notes into one centralized place like Readwise. The way you do that is completely up to you. Once we've captured all of our notes and have them into one place, we can begin doing some really fun things with all those notes. The first and my personal favorite is by using AI to facilitate a daily review of your highlights. The biggest problem with taking notes when it comes to reading books is that it's very easy to capture notes and highlight things, but it's very hard to go back and actually review them. Even without book tech, I always had this problem of taking notes in a physical notebook, but never actually going back to read those notes in that notebook. To this day, I have a stack of notebooks somewhere in my house with all these notes I've taken over the years, but I've never gone back to look at them once. With Readwise, the best feature of this application is the daily review. It'll go across all your highlights and pick 5 random ones and surface those to you in a daily review. The daily review will actually use this special spaced repetition algorithm that is proven to help you improve your long-term memory. So essentially, you'll be getting highlights over a long period of time, but in a way where they keep coming up every so often, so you have that opportunity to refresh yourself so you don't forget them. I'm currently on a 1,300-day streak with my Readwise daily review, and I am still getting highlights surfaced to me from books I read 5 years ago now. This has been a great way to remember books I would have totally forgotten about otherwise. Now, putting aside the daily review feature, Readwise also launched a new feature called Chat with Your Highlights. This is completely powered by AI and is one of my new favorite ways of interacting with my notes. If you're like me, you might be using tools like ChatGPT to ask random questions throughout your day, but wouldn't it be cool if instead of asking a random robot, you could talk to the authors of all the books that you've ever consumed and get a more personalized response based on the highlights and notes that you've taken? For example, something I've been struggling with lately is my productivity. Especially in the afternoons, I've been dealing with this afternoon slump, so I put this question into Chat with Your Highlights in Readwise, and I got a very personalized response with citations to notes I've taken and books I've read in the past. To me, the response I got from Readwise AI was way more meaningful than any generic chatbot can ever do, because the response was based on my personal notes, my personal context. It was way more direct to me because I read these books before. I already knew about these concepts, but they were connected in a new way because of the AI. If I wanted to, I can dive deeper by clicking into the specific notes and highlights and opening up the book that it's referencing, or by even asking follow-up questions to get a better context. Alright, so far we've talked about ways of using AI to capture notes and also review our notes. Now we're going to talk about ways to use AI to remix our notes into our own creative work. In my experience, the best way to learn and retain information is not by reviewing it over and over again, but rather actually applying and implementing the insights that you're learning into your personal projects in daily life. Something I truly wish more bookworms would do is start a blog online or a weekly newsletter. I've been hosting my own weekly newsletter via a book club for a few years now. It's been a great way to actually go through every week and write about a lesson that I've been learning about and retain this information and apply it to my own life. When it comes to my weekly newsletter, I've actually been using AI to really help me streamline this process even more. Since all my notes are already in Readwise, what I can do is actually have Readwise export these notes and highlights into an app like Obsidian or Notion, and then copy and paste any of those notes and highlights into an AI like ChatGPT and generate outlines for my newsletter. Another way you can go about it is by using the Voice Notes app again. These days, what I do at the end of the week is I go through my Readwise highlights from the past week and pick a few things that stand out to me. I open up the Voice Notes app and sit on my sofa and just talk to myself about these specific highlights and how they apply to my life. I'll have a pretty detailed conversation with myself about all of this, and I'll even throw in a few stories talking about the things I'm learning about in the book and how I've actually been using them in my life or things I've done in the past. And all this is happening while the Voice Notes app is recording the conversation and transcribing it. Once I'm done, I can ask the AI to turn this voice dump of a note that I made and turn it into a polished weekly newsletter. Now, obviously, it'll require a lot of editing to make sure it sounds like my own voice, but this is a wonderful starting point instead of having to start from scratch. Regardless of how you decide to remix your notes, I think it's something that everyone should try doing. It's really, really fun, and there's nothing wrong with using AI to assist with the process. As long as you're not copying and pasting something and just publishing it raw like that, there's nothing wrong with using it to assist with drafting outlines or making your writing a bit more polished. Now, if you found this video useful, you might also like my video talking about the Reader app, which is included in the Readwise subscription. It's basically the best reading app you can download on your phone or your tablet. Link for that review video on the screen right now. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.